Hello there everybody, a very, very good afternoon or good evening to you all, and very welcome back to Taurex and one of our live streams here in our Discord channel and on our YouTube channel as well. I hope everyone is having a good trading day so far. The markets are very much alive and kicking, and we're getting some really nice moves. And yesterday we sort of really launched everything for the first time in terms of my trading journal, and also some of the trades that we had coming that we've analysed in the Discord channel, and now bringing to everyone who is joining our live streams. So yeah, if you are around today and there's anything you want me to discuss or cover, as always, this is more of like a, they're always sort of open sessions. I have a general idea of what I'm going to talk about, but I do like it when also people interact in the chat and ask any questions, beginner questions, advanced questions, it doesn't matter. That's why I do these streams, is to, help you guys out as well. So feel free to pop them in the chat room and let me know, or in the Discord channel, of course. I can see some people messaging. Hello G Bobby, it's good to see you, and thank you very much for tuning in today. Right, let's first of all have a quick look at the only high impact news event. I don't think today's stream is going to be too long. We've actually got a much bigger day tomorrow than we do today, so a lot of trading is sitting and waiting and being patient. And today's, I think, for me, one of those patience days. But just to give you a quick idea, hopefully you can see that. Okay, yes, you can. The only high impact economic event we had out today was the producer price index, and if you're not aware of what that's all about, there's on our economic calendar we have a breakdown of exactly what that is, which is really nice. So I know some of you may already know this, and I do apologize if I'm repeating myself, but the producer price index is basically let's call it a services inflation report. So it measures the average change in the prices in primary markets of the US by producers of commodities, right? So essentially what it is, it's almost like the costs for companies. And the reason that is seen as, inflationary, or as an inflation reading, is because quite often if you're a company and you experience higher costs in your production, and you're a producer and you're experiencing higher costs, where do you normally pass those costs on to? Well, you pass them on to the consumer, and that feeds into inflation. And that's why it's quite a good idea to have a look at PPI, because it can give us an idea of what to expect from the actual inflation print, which is the CPI. That comes out tomorrow, and I will be covering that event for you live. And we've also got UK CPI tomorrow. So tomorrow I think it's going to be probably a better day to trade than today. Now, just to give you an update on some of the trade ideas that we've got, and of course, if anyone wants me to cover anything, then again, please put that in the chat room for me. That would be beneficial. In terms of the trades we've got yesterday, one of the main focuses for us was going to be on the S&P 500, which, as you can see, if I zoom in here, broke out of our triangle consolidation pattern, and yesterday closed. If you look at this, sorry, and I probably should have said the actual PPI came in at, I don't know why I didn't say that. The actual PPI came in at 3.5%, previously at 3.4, and the forecast was at 3.8. So even though it was, a lot lower than what the forecast was, we do still see producer prices ticking higher than what we saw when we saw the last reading last month. So that's why we've got a little bit of a mixed reaction here, to be honest with you. So back to what I was saying, the S&P 500 yesterday closed below that consolidation pattern, right? And I put that in the Discord channel as well. And then if you look what happened yesterday, we closed right on it. A little bit of a move higher. And now if you look at this rejection that we're seeing, if you break that down onto the 1 hour chart, you can really see that. We're actually rejecting quite, considerably. We created a little bit of a fair value gap as well. Can you see that? If it lets me tag it. There we go. If I break that down onto the lower time frames, you can just see that we've got a move down below this fair value gap for the first time, like a real close. So I'm wondering if, as a quick, scalp for the rest of today, and this isn't something that I'm necessarily going to place, but I know some people prefer to trade on the lower time frames. I think if you're going to try and scalp this lower, I think a good play would be to use this fair value gap as a resistance, probably cover your stop loss above this wick is probably what I would do. And then target the daily bullish order block or the demand zone down at 5748. I've really got my eyes on this. I'm not going to do that personally. I'm just saying that could be a good scalp move for today, but I'm not a scalper because I just simply don't have time for it. However, I do like the idea still of looking for a move down towards this bullish order block and then looking for, some sort of reaction. So I've actually got that buy limit placed and set and ready to go. No, so really there isn't any update in terms of whether I'm placing the trade or not, but there is signs here that we are seeing this move a little bit lower. Okay. Right. Oil. Looking at the markets that are moving the most today, and obviously crude oil has been a really good market to trade in early 2025. And as we know, we had that really nice trade on oil, and I'm tempted to go back in. Why? Because from Friday's close to Monday's open, again, we created a fair value gap where the market closed here at 76.5 and opened up here at 77.3. The market traded higher. We actually came down and we failed to test that fair value gap, which creates a liquidity area for me. And below that liquidity area, we've got our fair value gap, which is yet to be tested or mitigated. And so what I'm looking to do is continue the bullish momentum on crude oil for that move higher. Now, actually, if you marry that up as well, I want to see if it marries up with our fib. The actual 50% of that fair value gap, roughly, sits in line with that 38.2% as well. Therefore, the trade that I'm looking to execute would be, and this is just how I would see it personally, using multiple time frames, is a move down towards this fair value gap of the 50% of it, probably cover myself there, and try and get a move about a 5-to-1 risk versus reward trade. I think that could be something that we could look to do in the near future. We may even get tagged in on that. So that's my second trade idea. So if I just tidy this analysis up for you. So what have we got? We've got a FVG from Friday to Monday. Okay. We've also got the 38.2% daily fib, and I'm actually going to put that as the 50% FVG, and that for me is a confidence trade. And we've also got a liquidity area as well. So in terms of my confluences that I like to tick off when I trade, I would say that I'm following the rules here, and I think this could be a good chance to go long, and it's a good risk reward at 5-to-1, and so that's something that I'm looking to trade. So I'm just going to put that in the room for you all. And sometimes when markets are moving in you'll get a feel, like for example, there'll be a time, and there was a time for ages where I never touched oil, and then all of a sudden oil starts to move and oil starts to show some expansion, and it starts to show me some much better trade ideas than before. Whereas previously I was always trading the dollar or the stock market, but it isn't quite moving, especially the dollar. It's been on a bit of a grind. So this is my crude oil. Trade. Crude oil. Bullish. Idea from today's stream. That's in the room. In terms of my my actual journal, obviously I've only placed one trade this year so far. That was that oil trade. I've got 2 buy limits on oil and also on the S&P 500, so I'll see how those go. So 4% up so far, so I don't really need to rush into anything else, to be honest. And a lot of trading is finding, well, in my opinion, is sort of finding higher quality setups, not as frequently, unless you're someone who has got the time, to be studying the 5-minute and the 1-minute chart. I used to do that, but with my job at the moment, and I literally don't have time to do that. So I've adopted probably a slightly more swing trade or position trade strategy. And I'm happy with that, and it seems to be working okay. So that's why I wanted to, especially when you're journaling your trades as well, and I'm trying to show you my profit and loss for each month on the trades that I'm placing. It's good that I've got a strategy which isn't me placing 1,000 trades per day, because it can be quite confusing. Okay, right. No questions have come through. Now let me just give you a quick update on some other markets as well. So we can see the US dollar, which is, I wouldn't say selling off, but you can see we've had a little bit of a reaction from the slightly softer PPI. And that's an indication for tomorrow, because one of the trades that I'll be looking for is, now we're trading at that 38.2% of that fib from this move. If tomorrow's inflation comes in pretty strong, I wouldn't be surprised if the dollar ball step back in. However, if we do get a figure like we saw today, which is, slightly, and I will cover that in more detail tomorrow, but slightly weaker than what everyone's expecting, because remember I said everyone's pricing in so much inflation now, or a lot more than they were, then we may see a deeper correction down towards the 61.8. So I haven't got a trade idea as such on that yet, because I don't really want to be trying to call the bottom here. I'd rather, wait for the pullback in the dollar, be patient, and wait for that to, that trade to come around. So I've got my eyes on that one, and I've also got my eyes on the S&P 500. The Nasdaq looks a little bit weaker actually, because you can see we're actually creating potentially a new lower low. And I think if we create a new lower low down here, I haven't really got a clean order block to use either, not as clean as the one on the S&P 500. That's why I always choose my markets carefully. But you can see that move potentially shaping up. The markets aren't really. It's a long way to go, I know, but the risk assets, should we say, aren't really performing or starting the year too well. There's not too much going on in the crypto space, to be honest. Again, I'm not someone who likes to trade that, but generally what we're seeing, I think, is a bit of a pause period, and that's fine. As I said before, a lot of markets are, a lot of trading is around being patient and waiting for your opportunities and waiting for your more high quality setups. So I think we're consolidating here on Bitcoin. I haven't really got a bias as to whether we're going to see a deeper correction down to 80,000 or if we're going to see a move higher. The technicals would suggest that, this is a pause, maybe even a bullish flag to potentially have a next leg higher. That would probably be my preference. But in terms of a tradable idea right now, I'm not too interested in it just yet, to be honest, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, and I think that's probably about it. So slightly shorter stream today, just because I haven't placed any new trades. There's not anything else to update you on, but we have got now, I have now got two buy limit ideas. One on the S&P 500, and that's 2% risk because it's a daily trade, and one on oil, which is a 1% trade because it's on the hourly time frame. So hopefully those get tagged in, in the next 24 hours or so. If they don't, again, that's fine. I'm happy to sit here and remain patient and wait for the markets to come to me, because I know how damaging it can be to chase markets when the moves aren't quite there yet. But we've got some good stuff going on, and if anyone has any other questions, feel free to reach out to me in the Discord channel, and I'll be more than happy to assist. And I'm actually updating my journal as well to show some graphs from my yearly, for my annual or monthly profits as well in terms of percentage. So I look forward to. I'll be working on that tonight actually. So it should look a bit better than what I've got. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Trade well, and I'll see you soon.